Hello, my name is Justin Bakaran, and this is a presentation on the people and an artifact of the Kingdom of Kush. As for some general history, number 1, the Kingdom of Kush dominated Nubia, the land south of Egypt, for more than 3,000 years. Number 2, the history of the Kingdom of Kush is a history shaped by the hands of others, as little to no written records had been kept. Due to this, researchers rely on third-party sources, such as neighboring rival societies like Egypt. Number 3. The Kingdom of Kush was founded in 1970 BCE and fell when it was invaded by the Axumites in 3030 CE. Number 4. An interesting fact to point out is that since the Kushites were so advanced and civilized, those who researched their history began to claim that they must have been of the Caucasian race. However, any modern notions of white and black are inapplicable to such an ancient society. Kush was located between the modern borders of Egypt and Sudan, situated around the Nile and Atbara rivers, and near the Mediterranean and Red Seas. This provided many benefits to the Kushites. The Nile River aided agriculture in allowing for farming during both the summer and winter seasons due to the flooding and its contributions to the fertile soil. The cataracts of the Nile, 6 whitewater rapids, have been used as waypoints but have prevented travel. Being close to the African interior and the Red Sea, Kushites were granted beneficial trade routes, which worked in tandem with the abundant natural resources such as wood, iron ore, and gold ore, as manufactured iron and gold were traded. However, dependency on these resources became the Kushites' downfall, as the loss of the trees harmed the manufacturing of iron and gold, and in turn negatively affected the economy. The Kingdom of Kush had 3 capitals throughout the years, including Kerma, Napta, and Meroe. The first capital, Kerma, was considered the most powerful Nubian city-state between 2450 BCE and 1450 BCE. The culture there was rural and focused on agriculture. The Egyptian military reigned over the second capital, Napta, until conquered by the Kushite king Pi. This caused some aspects of Egypt to integrate their way into Napta. Examples of this include aggressive expansion and stable government. Napta was a religious center, being that the area was considered sacred to their god Amun. The third capital, Meroe, was a port city, being nearest to the trade routes at the Red Sea in the African interior. With its resources of both wood and ore, Meroe was involved with the trade of iron and gold. However, as stated before, the reliance on natural resources contributed to the downfall of the Kush Empire, as the economy fell with the loss of trees used in the manufacturing of iron and gold. As for the governmental system in the Kingdom of Kush, Kush kings were elected or chosen and were usually succeeded by their queens, which set the Kingdom of Kush apart from other ancient civilizations. Additionally, priests played a major role in the government, being able to critique and interpret the laws of the king. The artifact that I chose is a vessel in the shape of a bound oryx. Artworks such as these are examples of Kushites' artistry, wealth, and power. This particular artwork can serve as a jar. Liquid can be put inside and can then be poured out using the bounded legs as a handle. Additionally, this bound oryx represents the relationship between Egypt and the Kingdom of Kush due to the materials of the art piece, alabaster, coming from Egypt. This particular work was found in one of the many archaeological excavations by archaeologist and Museum of Fine Arts curator George A. Reisner. Reisner had pieced together much of the Kingdom of Kush's history, which had previously been forgotten due to their lack of written records. And now, here is my artifact replica. Though I have more experience in Fusion 360, the software is used for more technical design models with more realistic dimensions rather than artistic purposes. Instead, I opted to use Blender, which I had no experience with but has a better sculpting tool. Regardless, this is the final product. I am by no means good at this more artistic approach at modeling, but ended up looking decently similar to the original artifact. The animation has a couple issues, like the poor camera angles and that spin, but this is just to give a 360 view of the model. And that is the end of the presentation. Thank you for watching and listening.